fishing news is brought to you by Okuma.
Well, the first week and a half of February is in the books. Only 2.5 more weeks to go. I'm Jim Hutchinson with a New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. And I wish I had better reports for you this week, but the fact is, there's not a lot to report. Some guys are up doing some perching of some of the rivers and creeks. At least, I hope that's what they're doing here at Oyster Creek. I'm here at Sandpoint Park. We spotlighted this at one of our hot spots for the season ahead. Here in Waretown, it's just a little south of Lacey Marine and Forked River, a little north of Creekside Outfitters. Great place to launch, and it's going to be a busy place here come March 1st. I will remind you, some people have been asking me, it is against the law to target stripers in New Jersey behind the inlets from January 1st until the end of February. So we're not allowed to even target stripers until March 1st. That's why this is one of the creeks that gets very busy in just another 2.5 weeks. Now, in terms of that perch bite, though, we did talk to Dave at Absecon Bay. He said bloodworms are doing the trick on some of those perch at the regular hot spots, Hay Road and up the Mullica, of course, in some of those canals and lagoons. We spoke to Bucktails Outfitters in Mays Landing this week. They said you can catch some perch on the bulkhead there, the open water on the Great Egg Harbor River. In fact, they said there's folks that are stumbling into a couple of stripers early that they've got to release when they're going for perch, and also had some reports of herring on the run up there as well, which is a good sign for the spring ahead. If you're looking for some basic terminal rigging for those white perch, this one comes from Hugh Carberry. Hugh used to be at the Division of Fish and Wildlife. He suggests a sinker, very standard setup with a dropper loop with a gold number 1 bait holder hook. You can go with bloods, live minnows, or grass shrimp as well. Keep it light, 8 to 12 pound test. Looking for some of those areas, you can head up the Raritan complex. That includes up the Navesink River, as well as the Manasquan, the Toms, the Mullica, Morris, or Cohansey, down in South Jersey, and of course, as I said, up the Great Egg Harbor River. Now, outside the inlets right now, not too much to report. I'd hoped to see some heavy-duty blackfishing for the month of February, but folks were finding that cold water was leading to a real picky bite. A lot of guys are taking advantage of this downtime to do some maintenance before the fishing kicks into gear again. I talked to Eric Burnley in Delaware this week. He said there were 3 boats that started the winter out of Indian River Inlet. 2 of them have already left and moved down south to catch a hold of the bite. So again, he said the same thing, a real cold bottom temperature right now. So the blackfish bite has been very picky. And of course, the boats that were sailing deep for cod have had to deal with a little bit of windy weather. I did speak to Fred Galafaro, he's our Long Island editor, earlier this week. He said the cod bite off of Block Island, which is where the Jamaica and the Voyager were heading for a while, he said it's been a little bit picky. And again, primarily because of the winds not allowing a lot of people to get out there fishing. We'll send my best to Fred right now. Fred is our Long Island editor. Like I said, if you see his video reports each week, Fred just got some surgery done on his ankle this week. He's going to be out of commission for a while. Tim Smith is doing his video. Fred, get better soon. Get back on your feet. We do miss you. Now, the one thing that I always get questions about this time of year is, what about fluke? What about sea bass? Well, right now, this week, the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission is meeting in Arlington, Virginia. And then next week, the Mid-Atlantic Fishery Management Council, February 13th to the 15th, will meet at the Hilton Garden in Raleigh, North Carolina. Out of those meetings, we'll get a little bit better semblance of what's going on in terms of our fluke and sea bass. You can expect in March, State Advisory Council meetings in Delaware, in New Jersey, and of course up in New York as well, for all these states to really hash it out. Where are those fluke right now, though? Well, I did talk to a commercial fisherman I know this week. He said he's reporting loads of jumbo fluke, 70 miles offshore, 40 fathoms, and some, he said, are inside 30 miles, but a little bit spotty. Jumbo fluke. He told me waters are chilling down inshore, fish have been hanging out front. We haven't had too many major storms this winter, which he thinks makes a difference. He said when we get those big storms, the fish tend to move farther north and farther offshore, up the Hudson and even into the Block Canyon. Out of reach, less chance for them to settle back inshore in New Jersey. So again, maybe not having all of those tumultuous weather systems this winter will bode well for a season ahead on fluke. Again, we'll find out more, as I said, after the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission and the Mid-Atlantic Council get done with their meetings in the next couple of weeks. As far as what's going on right now, more from our calendar of events. Saturday, February 10th, the Highmar Fishing Flea Market will be held from 8 till 2. That's at the Middletown VFW Post 2179. That's on Route 36 in Port Monmouth, Middletown. On Sunday, February 11th, the Saltwater Anglers of Bergen County will hold their fishing flea market from 9 to 3 at VFW Post 4591, 513 Veterans Place in Hasbrook Heights. Also on Sunday, February 11th, I'll be out at the Palmyra Fire Department Fishing Flea Market from 9 to 2. It's at Charles Street School, 100 West Charles Street in Palmyra, New Jersey, Burlington County. Early bird admission is at 8 a.m. Come on over there early, especially you Eagles fans. I want to know all about that parade and how it went. Of course, we had the big bet this week. You could forget all about his thumbs. Tom Brady is still 3 fingers short of a handful of Super Bowl rings, thanks to Eli Manning and the Giants 2 times, and our own Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles this past Sunday. How about that? NFC East rivals, Eagles and Giants, we have something to share. And I tell you what, since we have something in common, I have an idea. How about we have New England editor Toby Lipinski satisfy his wager loss by coming down to New Jersey, fishing in the New York Bight, some of those Raritan-based stripers, Giants country, while wearing my Eagles apparel this spring. It's what you call diplomacy at its best. Again, come on out and see me in Palmyra on Sunday. Next week, we'll be reporting from the New Jersey Boat Sale and Expo at the Edison Convention Center. Find out more next week, only at thefisherman.com.
The Fishing News is brought to you by Okuma,